tell the truth real fast, and then we're probably done at last. 'Cause I got somewhere to be, and you're done deceiving me into thinking I couldn't do better. Yeah, I know I was probably crazy, thinking someday you'd change. There's nothing left to do now, so I'm playing the game. And so, heartbreaker, I've been working you out. You made loads of mistakes, but none that you talk about. I'm watching every move you make, and I'm on to you. Come on, heartbreaker, give in and surrender to me. You should have probably let me go, but you've got a porcelain ego, talking fast and punching low, making sure that there are no traces of thinking I could have done better. Yeah, I know I was probably crazy.
Hi. In the last video, I told you that I'm going to show you my sock yarn stash collection, so I can also help myself in that way in organizing all the yarn that I have. So I thought maybe we can go through different types of yarns, and by recording it I can be sorting them out at the same time. So for this video we are going to do sock yarn, and but before we do that, I got questions, and I think at the beginning of this video I'm including the footage of me doing an afterthought heel, cut-in heel, which I usually do in the sock tubes that I make. And some people were asking me if I can make a tutorial of how I do the cut-in heel. I could, however, it's a little bit, in order to do tutorials, the setup needs to be different, so I would need to record from above, and I don't really have that kind of setup. And to tell you the truth, you don't really need my tutorial, because there is quite a few of nice tutorials on YouTube, and this is how I learned. So if you search in cut-in heel knitting socks, cut-in afterthought heel knitting socks, quite a few of them are going to come up, and you can follow those. There is really no need for me to make the tutorial. But also I was asked if I can give any tips on the cut-in heel, and that I can do. I can tell you the two things that I do that I didn't in the beginning, but that I have found that work really well. And that is when I cut in the heel, and when I unravel that yarn in order to create a hole where I'm going to knit the heel in. When I unravel that yarn, I unravel it until 2 stitches before the end, on one side and on the other side. And what happens in that way, that I prevent the holes that can be created at the edge of the heel and in between the body of the sock. So when you unravel the yarn, you do so, but you leave the 2 stitches on each side without unraveling the yarn. You will still pick up those stitches, but you will still have that yarn there, so it doesn't create the holes. So that's one tip. And the other tip is, when I pick up those stitches, instead of going straight away into decreasing the heel, I knit 4 plain rounds first without any decreases. So 4 plain rounds, and then I start decreasing every other round in order to create the heel. And that makes the heel just a bit deeper, which I find that it fits the foot better. So those are my 2 tips, and as far as the instructions, the tutorials, check out other YouTube videos, and I'm sure you're gonna find many nice ones. When I was looking at my sock yarn, I kind of gathered everything here. And by sock yarn, I mean the one that contains, that has nylon content. Not all of them, but most of them. That's how I sorted them. I do have a lot, but when I looked at it, I have pretty much like 4 or 5 different brands. I didn't try many different sock yarns, so I have sorted them out by brand, so that way I can kind of go in order and link them as I link them in the description as I go over them, so you can find those sock yarns and I can give you my opinion on them and if I have worn them enough to see how well they worn. But I don't have that much time to test the socks to tell you how well they wore after a couple of years, because most of the socks that I had previously knitted, they were as gifts, and only this year I have started knitting a lot of socks for myself, so I have only a few to tell you how well they held up. But still, I'm going to tell you my opinion of the feel of the yarn and which ones I'm going to buy again, and that's that. So let's see which one I'm going to start with first. I think I'm going to start with Regia first. Now, I have Regia 4 ply in different shades. So I have the gray, this very dark gray, the burgundy, then this beige. Actually, now talking about it, give me 1 second, I'm just going to get my glasses if I'm going to be able to read what meterage it is per 100 grams. Coming back. Okay, we're back. So Regia 4 ply, I have them in these plain colors, which are very nice colors. I like these kind of neutral, natural, even though burgundy is not natural, but they are muted, they're not very bright and loud. This one is pinkish and kind of marled, but very, very subtle. And I do have another one which I didn't knit with yet. It's striped, but I thought it would be fun, like a bumblebee. So black and yellow. And Regia 4 ply, let me see now. It's 420 meters or 459 yards per 100 grams. Normally, if I would knit only with this weight of yarn, I would use 2mm needles. But I think that I'm a loose knitter. I see that most of the knitters use 2.25 or 2.5, but for a single held fingering weight, I use 2mm needles. Now, Regia has a very good reputation for being a very durable, strong yarn for socks. And the composition is 75% wool and 25% polyamide, nylon. So it has a very good reputation for being a very strong and durable sock yarn. However, when I touch it like this, it does feel a little bit ropey, in my opinion. And I do like my sock yarn to be more woolly, on the woollier side rather than on the silkier side. So I don't mind that. But it did feel less flexible and less ropey, and more ropey. However, so I paired it one time when I was knitting with mohair, and then it was lovely. But now what I did is I have used some leftovers of this Regia 4 ply, and I'm knitting it helical knitting to use up what I have with undyed yarn that I got from World of Wool. And this is, I think, merino, alpaca and nylon, just undyed. And I'm doing helical knitting with Regia yarn, and I did so here just to use up the whatever little bits and pieces I had left. And in this case, I don't mind that rough feeling to it. I don't know if I would necessarily like to knit the whole sock out of it, but I definitely will in this colorway, because I don't want to mute it down by holding mohair. So I will tell you once I do that, I will tell you how it feels. This sock, I already have one finished. And I love the fact that I can get something out of nothing, really. Those were all just leftover pieces of just scraps of yarn, and that I made it into a sock, and it's going to be a pair of socks. So very good reputation, as I said. I can see that it will be durable, but the feel of it is a bit rough if you're used to superwash, which is not my preferred. Superwash is not my preferred yarn, but if you're used to superwash, this would be a bit rough for you. The other Regia yarn that I do have, and I have knitted with it, is Merino Yak. Now, I have this one in bunch of different colors. I have it in this mustard color, purplish. I don't know what colors they are, because I think they go by numbers and not necessarily the name of the color. And the composition of that is 58% wool, 28% polyamide and 14% yak. So those two, the sage green, then beige, blue, navy blue, this kind of maroon color, and red. I also have gray, which is upstairs, but I didn't bring that down because I have already made a pair of socks in that color. Now with Regia Merino Yak, I have enjoyed knitting with this yarn tremendously. I loved it. And that's why I ordered so many different colors, because first I ordered 300 grams of the gray one, and I have so enjoyed knitting with this yarn. I will show you the socks that I have made in that yarn. The feel of the yarn is woolly but soft. Not silky soft, but not ropey. It was just a real pleasure to work with. Now, I didn't wear these socks yet, and unfortunately I have heard from a few people that they don't hold up well as socks, that they peel a lot, and that after a few wears and after a few washes that the yak content just comes out. which I'm really sad about. I'm not giving you that as my opinion, I'm just telling you what I have heard. So I will try these. I'm not going to make any more socks out of this yarn, Regia Merino Yak. I will try this winter. However, if it doesn't work as socks, if I don't see that it holds up well, I still love the yarn very much, and I really enjoyed working with it. So I'm going to buy enough quantities of all of these colors, probably, so another 2 balls of each color, because they come in 100 gram balls, and I'm probably going to buy another 2 balls of each color and make a garment for myself, like either a shawl or a jumper, because I really do like the yarn. And so I figure if they don't hold up well in socks, they will be okay in a garment. But then again, I'm not going to go crazy and buy all of the colorways at the same time. I'm probably going to maybe knit in this, because I have 3 balls of this and I just use part of 1 ball for a pair of socks. Try it out, see how that holds up, and then buy in the other colorways, because I really did enjoy working with it, and I would love if it holds up well as a garment, as jumpers. Now, mind you, maybe I'm gonna be okay with it as socks as well. I don't know, but I will have to let you know after the winter passes and when I have tested it a bit more. So that's so far for Regia. The second one that I want to talk to, I don't have a lot of it, but it's the one that I really like, and that is West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply. At the moment, I have only these 2. So West Yorkshire Spinners is 400 meters per 100 grams. It's 75% wool, 25% nylon. This one is hollyberry. And this one is mallard. I guess like mallard duck. I had another one, autumn leaves. I bought these in UK last year in John Lewis when we went for our cruise to Norway, but we went through UK. So I bought these in John Lewis in UK, but I will link where you can buy it in the description. So I said first I'm going to start with the Regia, and then West Yorkshire Spinners, and then the other ones that I have, whatever links I have. I have knitted the socks from Autumn Leaves. I managed to get 2 pairs from 100 grams, actually 2.5 pairs. This is the first one that I made. This is the colorway Autumn Leaves. And the toe and the heel I did in Cascade Heritage Superwash. And then I have made another one, also in Autumn Leaves. I think that the top I used, for the cuff I used Drops Flora, which is without nylon and non-superwash, and I think for the heel I used Cascade Heritage again. So this is Autumn Leaves again, West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply. And then I had a very bit small like pieces of it left. So I have done helical knitting with some other yarns that I had, and I made these that I showed recently in the last video or the video before, with the helical knitting again, using up all the little bits and pieces to make this kind of retro 70s type of socks. And that these colored ones, that is the Autumn Leaves part. So I have used every last bit of that colorway, and I like this. This yarn is it's softer than Regia, and I also heard it has a very good reputation for being very good sock yarn. And they have it in a multitude in different colorways, which are striped or marled like this, and they have a lot of solid colors as well. So I might try some in solid as well, but I'm very happy with this yarn. It's woolly but not rough, and it even softens even more once I washed it. These socks are actually quite soft, but again, not silky soft like what I told you, what Superwash has. So this is definitely something that West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply that I will buy again. Okay, another one that I have recently tried from West Yorkshire Spinners is Peep. This is Peep Luxury Baby 4-ply, and this one has a higher nylon content. This is 52% Falkland wool and 48% nylon. I bought only two 50-gram balls just to try them out, because I thought that they would be good as gifts, because of such high nylon content, that they are going to be very durable, and they have a few different colors, especially self-striping, which I found interesting, and they are inexpensive. So I have this one that I didn't knit from it yet, and they have it also available in DK, which I didn't try. This is 4-ply. So I didn't try this one yet, but which one I did try is this one is Dolphin colorway. The one that I did try is Tinkerbell colorway. And this is how the socks came out. And for the heel, I used just the undyed yarn that I had, that I showed you, that I used in the previous socks. And they look so pretty. I mean, again, I didn't try them yet. I only recently knitted them, but it was nice to work with. Okay, so that's West Yorkshire Spinners. Now we have Cascade. Now Cascade 220. It's a beautiful yarn. It really is. It's superwash. It's very, very soft, extremely soft. And the socks, that it was a pleasure to work with, and the socks came out lovely. However, I have already seen quite a bit of pilling on some of them, like on the toe and the heel, that I used here when I used West Yorkshire Spinners. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I have seen quite a bit of pilling already in socks. Now, I have quite a few of those, which I don't think I'm going to use them up on their own anymore, because I don't think they will hold up well. I have knitted a few more in those, but I have never worn them. Here they are. This is one pair. This is the other. I think I wore them once. Beautiful, beautiful colors, and such a soft yarn, such pleasure to work with. Another one. But I don't think, at least not for now, that I'm going to knit socks just holding a single strand of this yarn. Holding it with the strand of mohair, which I like to do, absolutely. I will absolutely use them up. And so I have a bunch of different leftover colors that I have. I have this yellow, I have some rust orange, like burnt orange, navy blue, and burgundy. I think these are just two different shades of black. So I might use them as cuffs, you know, like for this to pair with the Regia. I might use it for cuffs, toe and heel. I like the look of a sock when it's all single color, when I don't have contrast heels. But I think it's more practical if I'm doing an afterthought heel to have it in different colors. So in case a heel wears out, I can see easily where I can pick up the stitches and replace the heel, like rip the other one out and replace it. So it's more practical, but I do prefer the look of just a plain sock. I have some little bits and pieces, if you can see here, again of this. It's not only Cascade Heritage, but most of it is. There is a bit of Regia as well, which I'm keeping. They're not going to be thrown away, obviously. I'm going to, when I collect enough, which I think this is enough, again, I'm going to create socks using helical knitting, because I don't really waste anything. I have another one, which is Cascade Heritage Prince. I think this is tomato. I'm not sure. It says color 30. I didn't try it yet. 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. So this is again Cascade Heritage, but Prince. And I will see if I'm going to use this one on its own or I'm going to pair it with mohair. I don't know yet, I'm not sure. What I do have is, I have 200 grams, again, of Cascade Heritage in this red color. I don't know if it says, no, it says color 5607. So I have 200 grams in this red and 100 gram in this. I actually wrote on it. Did I write on this one? No, this one is limestone, and I have 100 grams in this sandy color, limestone color, exactly. Because I do like the yarn so much, maybe not necessarily for the socks, but I do like the feel of this yarn. I think the price point is very good and it feels lovely knitting with it. 300 grams of fingering weight yarn is going to be plenty for me to make a sweater. So I think I'm going to save this, and instead of knitting socks, I think I'm going to make a jumper out of it. And it's going to be, these two colors will pair nicely, so I can do some thinner stripes with the limestone and main part of the jumper with the red. So I'm keeping these, but not for socks. I'm going to use them for a garment. So we did Regia, we did West Yorkshire Spinners, Cascade. Now, I have a lot, and I mean a lot, of this undyed yarn that I got from World of Wool, and I do love it. And I have them on cones, and I also have them on skeins. And when I tell you I have a lot, I mean I have a lot. So I have a few of the 1 kilo cones. This is the one with alpaca content in it. So alpaca, merino, and nylon. And then I have a bunch of undyed skeins as well that I can dye. Occasionally I experiment with dyeing yarn, but I do it with food coloring, because I don't want to mess with acid dyes, especially because I do it in my kitchen, and the food coloring just works just fine. I mean, the colors, you don't really know what you're gonna get, but they have worked great until now. So I have some gray, which was actually black food color. I have some yellow. This came out really, really vibrant, and I made it for my husband. I made socks for my husband in this color because he has Dr. Martens, and he has some Dr. Martens socks as well, which are yellow and black. So I made him a pair of socks out of this one. I have dyed this cane. Now the way that I got this colorway is that first I have dyed it in red, but the red, because it was food coloring and not actual proper dye for dyeing yarn, it kind of came out pinkish. So then when the yarn dried and when I saw it pinkish, then I said, okay, let me put it in the pot again, and I have added some green, which is the opposite on the color wheel. And then when I added green, I just did it approximately, I got this color, and I really, really like it. It's kind of brick red color. So I'm going to make socks out of those. The one that I did also do is this one. I will show you the socks that I have knitted from it. Now this is actually the red food dye and food color. So what I did, I took a skein of yarn, the one that I already had in skeins, and I have dipped half of it in the pot that had the red color in it, and the other one and the other side I have just left white. So just dyed half of the skein. And what that created this kind of micro stripes. I'll show you the... Oh no, where are the socks? I'll go get them. See, I brought all the socks and I didn't bring these ones. So because it created these micro stripes, this is how the socks came out, which I found really, really interesting. So that's with this undyed yarn that I have from World of Wool. And I love this yarn. It's I think it's beautifully soft, but also woolly at the same time. And I think it would be great for garments as well. The next one and the last one that I want to talk to is drops yarn, and mainly drops Nord. No, not only drops Nord. I have here. Most of it that I have is Drops Nord, but I also have this Drops Delight that come in beautiful colors. They do. However, when I have knitted in it just on its own, it was a pleasure to work with, but I don't know how well they're going to hold up, because it is plied, but it does look like roving, and they have such beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colors. And this one is 75% wool, 25% polyamide. But I also found that it looks beautiful when it's paired with mohair. And I have knitted another pair of socks holding this Drops Delight paired with mohair. And the mohair, I have used this brownish mohair, like neutral shade, and it allowed the pattern to show, but it kind of muted it down a bit. And so yeah, I'm going to use this up again. Will I buy it again? Maybe, but probably only if I'm going to pair it with mohair. So that's Drops Delight. The other ones, that most of it, I have so much of it, is Drops Nord. Now, I buy Drops Nord mostly for my garments. You probably saw a few videos ago that I bought 68 balls of it. and it remains one of my favorite yarns, workhorse yarns to knit with, because it's very inexpensive. It has a beautiful feel. I don't find it scratchy at all, and it does have nylon content, which a lot of people don't prefer, but you can't really feel it in the yarn when you are knitting with it. So it adds to durability, but you can't really feel the nylon, you know, the squeakiness of the nylon or the superwash, because this is not superwash. So I have so much of drop snored, and the ones, most of it is for garments, but whatever stays from the garment, I'm going to knit it up in socks. I'll show you some of the ones that I have, the socks that I have already knitted in it. That's one. And this one I showed you when I gave the review, because I did wear it last year, and what I can tell you is that it felted a bit at the bottom, which is fine. It actually makes the fabric stronger. I don't know if you can see it. But just the bottom of the foot and the heel felt it a bit. So I have, oh my God, where do I start with drop snored? The ones that I showed you, I have this black. Now in black, I don't know how, I know it's going to be a pain in the ass to pick up the stitches, because already in the very dark gray it was difficult to pick up the stitches, but I might use it for heels. I'm trying not to make too much noise with the nylon because they're still in it. And then I have sweater quantities of white. I have already knitted the in and out raglan recently in this fog colorway, so I have some balls left which I'm probably going to use either for color work or for socks. This kind of petrol colorway. I have sweater quantity on that. And I forgot to tell you, drop snored is a sport weight yarn. So it's 50 grams, 170 meters. And I also have beige sweater quantity. Which way? Oh, this way. So these are my sweater quantities here, but whatever stays from the sweaters, as I said, either leave it for color work or use it up in socks. But I do have here the ones that I bought, the colors that I bought, just like 2 balls each, so I can make socks. I have this yellow, these jeans. I don't know what colors they are because they come with numbers. So the one that I call jeans is color 16. And I'm not going to be linking them by numbers. I'm just going to link drop snored or Regia 4-ply, Regia Yak, or West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply. So I'm not going to be linking all the colorways that I spoke about. Then this rust, brick red, which is very similar to the one that I dyed with food coloring, which was red, and then I added green. Then I have some red. Grass green, kind of. What else? This burgundy. Well, it's not really burgundy. What is it? It's between burgundy and purple. Brown. I actually probably have some more colorways here, but it's all a mess. So you get the idea. So these ones, again, I might keep them for color work in jumpers, which I don't normally knit, but I wouldn't mind making a few. And the rest keep for socks. That pretty much covers it for the sock yarn, but I do want to mention another one. If you don't like to knit socks with nylon. Now this one, it was by accident that I made socks with them. It's Drops Flora, because I bought a lot, or I spoke about it, I think even in the previous episode. I bought a lot of Drops Flora. And when I tried knitting with it, I didn't enjoy knitting just with the yarn on its own. When I pair it with other yarns, the feeling is completely different, and it's lovely. However, when I have knitted only with Drops Flora, I didn't enjoy it. It felt, it didn't feel bouncy enough. It didn't feel stretchy enough. So the feeling was not nice, although the yarn is lovely. So what I have done in order to use up the yarn, last year I have knitted for my son for the army. I paired it with a mohair blend, and he wore it in his army boots. And I was so pleasantly surprised how the yarn held up. It just completely felted, because Drops Flora has no nylon in it whatsoever. It's alpaca and wool. The bottom of the foot, and mind you, he wore it in the army boots. The bottom of the foot just completely felted, but there was no holes in it, nowhere. It just kind of like strengthened the fabric even more, which I was very, very pleasantly surprised. So now it opens up all the opportunities for me to knit socks with it, as well if I pair it with the mohair blend. I don't know if I would just knit it on its own. As I said, without mohair, I don't know if it would be strong enough, but I also told you I don't enjoy knitting on it on its own. So here I am, I'm working with this Drops Flora in this amethyst colorway, pairing with gray mohair. And because I used up all my sock tubes that I had, I showed you last time for my cousin's socks that I have made cut-in heels. So now I want to replace and make a few sock tubes that I can have on hand ready whenever I need a gift. And I have already made one to have ready. So because I have so many of them, I think these are going to be perfect gifts, because they come out so beautifully soft, like perfect house socks. And based on, I don't have Nicola's socks that I have made him that he wore in the army boots, because he's in UK now, and I have packed them for him to get with another pair of socks, so he has for the UK winters if he gets cold. But I'm telling you, just there was no wear and tear. It's just the bottom of the foot got completely felted, which I think is great. I think that completes my tour of my sock yarn. Now I have to pack all of these back in the boxes, but I'm also very glad that I have gone through all of them, so I have an overview of everything that I have. I don't think I'm going to be buying any more sock yarn anytime soon, but you know, we say things and we don't necessarily stay true to them. But I'm looking forward to using up everything that I have and finding the perfect use for each of the yarns. So far, my kind of like opinion, the one that I have enjoyed working the most and are Drop Snort and Regia Merino Yak. But because of what I told, and they have kind of similar feel, but because of what I told you, what I heard about Regia Merino Yak, I'm going to test them out first during the winter. But from all of these, the ones that I have enjoyed, and also I heard very good things about it, and I see that it holds up well for now, is West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply. And as I said, you have them in solid colors as well. So when I use up a lot of this yarn, I think this is the one that I'm going to keep on going back to. Hope you're well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.